Hello, are we live? I'm having some technical issues here. I can see a load of people in the chat, so I certainly hope so. Let me know if you can see and hear me, guys. Adam, Brendan, Rob, FPL Captain, Andreas, Ram, morning everyone. Do let me know if I am talking to myself. I'm going to take that yeah as I'm good. How are you all doing? Morning, Mark Dorney. Nice to have you. Lovely. These guys have been on their YouTube account and messed with the settings, so when I clicked it, it just went instantly live. There should be another random video of about a minute of me staring blankly into the screen. So, almost as entertaining as this stream's going to be, but I'd recommend this one. Evening from Malaysia. Nice. Rebrov the Troll. 105 robbery, nice one. Double game week's coming thick and fast, guys. Obviously that one just passed and another one now just on the horizon. Let me talk you through how I did very briefly. Oh, someone just messaged me saying the stream became unavailable. Interesting. I hope that's not the case. Let me just get these guys to tweet this out quickly. No, it's working for me fine. Gunar's talking out his anus. Let me just message this guy. There we go. Hopefully that sorted it. What did I do? Let me get my team up. So I had a bit of a dilemma. I mean, I didn't do particularly well. I got 71 points. I think that's... I don't even know what the average was, but I've seen some monster scores. Particularly Perfect Pete, who's won up to second with like 130 or something ridiculous. So I had Melchiot in my team, so it was a no-brainer for me. I just went Melchiot to Babiaro. That was always a move I had planned. Obviously, I'd have preferred Melchiot wasn't suspended, and I wouldn't have had to waste that swap, but there we go. So I brought Babiaro in. Then I had Phillips, who I was debating whether I bench or whether I sell. In the end, I benched and played Jensen, and Jensen obviously got his 8 points, so I'm glad I made that decision, because last time I went the other way. Although, to be fair, if I'd have taken a hit for Phillips and gone for Johnson, Marley, etc., it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world. However, I also then decided to double up on Chelsea defence, get Terry. I thought, might get 1 clean sheet out of 2. He gets bonus in nearly every game he plays. So I'll take a -4 to bring him in for Gary Neville, who I didn't fancy for a clean sheet. Gary Neville didn't get the clean sheet. Terry only got 3 points. So yet again, my hit cost me. Because especially when on my bench I had Hencho and McPhail, who both got a 6. I think a lot of bench points out there, loads. So I can't complain too much. Yeah, so a bit not a great week, but obviously Carboni captain, that saved me. I was genuinely on Babiaro till about 10 minutes before my deadline. Decided I couldn't be that crazy and just went with a guy who's got penalties, free kicks and stuff. So even if he had an early sub, I thought that you got to go with penalty takers in double game weeks quite often. They can help you, right? So I thought I'd do that. He didn't get a penalty, but luckily he jammed a goal and an assist, finally turning up after weeks of mediocrity. Hasn't been worth holding him all this time, that's for sure, but certainly we'll take it. So let's get into the review then, guys. There's obviously the breaking news as well that has really not helped me of Man United not winning the league. Really was hoping that they would have won it, so therefore rotation would be rife, but it probably won't be. But we'll talk about that in more detail in a little bit. Let's get into the review quickly. And there's quite a bit of news as well. Jack was happy with Carboni, definitely. He matched Lewis Boamorte. They got the exact same score. Luke, what tunes you got lined up? Disco continuing this morning? I don't understand that reference. Was that something on the stream? Or have I got music playing in the background? You'll have to enlighten me on that one. I missed the end of the stream. Confused now. You've thrown me. Blackburn and Leeds, as you can see, guys, was pretty equal. I mean, pretty much bang on equal. Also in the play, 50% each, roughly. So, you missed the stream last night. James hosted a 90s disco party. I'd have been loving that, yeah. It's definitely my error as well. Matt Jansen owners, 30 minutes 2 goals, man of the match, but he actually had 4 shots, 5. So he could have scored anything in this game. He's been absolutely smashing it of late, hasn't he? So, I mean, obviously you're going to take a brace of man of the match all day. The guy who was on the pitch for 6 passes, but he could have scored like 4 goals. So, fair enough. 2 guy again with a goal and assist, only a 7. Obviously, when you get penalties in this game, it doesn't seem to buff your average rating. It's almost like it knows they're cheats. So it's just like, nah, we can't give him an 8 for that. So it's basically just see that as an assist, and a 7 is pretty much how the game works with penalties a lot of the time. As for Leeds, obviously drop Smith. Yeah, once a rotatable player, always. So Smith and Bridges all rotate. Who plays the next one? It's anyone's guess. Probably be one of those alongside Keane, though. McPhail got dropped, finally. I mean, plays like 20 games a season, so shouldn't be a surprise, but obviously this sim it is, because he's played virtually every game he's available. I don't want to see Mohamed Salah in the chat. Oh yeah, I did see that on the stream, turning up, questioning life and what was going on. I've had a few of them pop in just utterly baffled. It's quite funny. Yeah, Ian Hart dreadful. Hate the guy now. Missed his 20-pointer myself, so he's pretty much been the biggest troll ever for me. Eric Bakker, I don't know what's going on with this guy. Absolutely mental form. He's scoring every single week. Crazy pick. Still only manages to get an 8 with 2 goals, so I suspect didn't actually play that well. As you can see here, only 18 completed passes, didn't win any tackles, one header, but 2 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals. So that's why he's done well, obviously. Jessica is in my DM, says Andy. Interesting. It's probably since the haircut and the shave, mate. Rob Reed saying I need to stop playing Heart away from home. Yeah, I had the same decision. I mean, Sim suggested I shouldn't, but it's just that fear. He's so heavily owned, and then what? He gets 2 penalties, and suddenly you look a chump, don't you? But overall, I think if you just don't play him away over the course of the season, yeah, you might miss the odd haul. You probably be up, won't you? Well, in fact, you definitely will be up. So I don't know why we haven't done it, but there we go. Ferdinand pulling in one of his 5s. This is what he's prone to do in the game. His aggression's 8. Didn't fancy it this week. And there you go. He got battered by Janssen. Jessica is 17. God, I've walked into this, haven't I? I have no idea who Jessica is. I just want to put this out there. I don't know what you're talking about. I retract any comments towards Jessica. Who the fuck is Jessica? Take me out of this conversation immediately. Right. Chelsea Man United. This game was basically binary on Sims most of the time. 0-0s, 1-0s, not a lot of goals. I actually did have a 3-3 and a 3-2 in the collection of 20 if you look down on my Sims, and we got one of those. But there's a little bit more to it than that. See, Chelsea, they set up attacking from the start, and Man United, they set up in this way, so they set up to counter-attack. So a lot of the time it depends whether their counter-attacks are successful as to whether they will actually score. If we go into the match report, you can actually see here, Chelsea looked to take the game to their opponents from the beginning, as you'd expect. So the early goals really helped them here. So Chelsea scored. In terms of goals, I mean, like having the game really open and lots of goals. Because there was early ones, it affected the game massively. Then Carboni scored. And then if you look here, straight away after Carboni scores, Man United looked to push forward in numbers. So instantly they've abandoned that defensive shape. Because the goals came so early, it's completely changed the course of the game. So now they've gone for it. And you can see when there's goals here again, they score again, Man United, and then Chelsea look comfortable and were taking it easy. So they've slowed down, and Man United started to show a more patient approach. So again, they've changed the way they've gone to play out this 2-2. This 2-1. Man United have then scored again somehow, and Chelsea again went to show a more patient approach. Man United started to put emphasis on defence. So again, more patient. Then Chelsea managed to get a goal. And then Chelsea abandoned their attacking shape, seeming happy to defend. So the moment they went 3-2 up, it was just a complete defence from Chelsea. And you can even see it in the stats here on the second half. In the first half, Chelsea were better than them. In the second half, Man United were over them. So Chelsea just defended for the rest of the entire game. So the early goals really changed the course of the game. Yeah, Ed would say, what happened with the late Carboni assist in this game? Why wasn't it credited first? Just a mistake from the Twitter commentator. Yeah, so this isn't the one. We'll talk about that in the Fulham game. So he just gets a goal in this one. But we will address that, don't worry. Yeah, we'll address it. So, as you can see here, assists and goals all as they were. Good Johnson ended up being a very tidy pick, didn't he? Unlucky for the Chelsea defenders not to get bonus. The fact that there was a 10-9 and then Emerson got this 9 as well, which basically blocked a lot of bonus. Emerson, what a beast. 9 an assist. Guy's unreal. He's found the Horizon cheat code. Yeah, and Lampard. Nice pick from Adam, top scorer of the game week. He brought him in and captained him. Great effort. He's been doing alright for the last few weeks, to be fair, Lampard. And his attributes are obviously developing. And he's getting better and better all the time, coming towards his peak age. Not had a great season at all, but a lot of that's to do with the formation. Once they switched to 4-4-2, I often found in Sims he could do okay. For a midfielder, it's not all that bad, to be honest with you. But yeah, I just found it most interesting that the fact that there was early goals in this game completely changed how it was set up. If Chelsea had just sort of scored one in the first half and then scored another one in the second half, it would have been a completely different game. Right, yeah, we're going to talk about Man United rotation as well, Graham, at some point. Derby and Liverpool, how this game ended 0-0, I mean, is a miracle, to be honest. 9 shots on target for Liverpool, 5 from Derby, loads and loads of shots. I think we know how it ended there. 9, Mark Poom, super keeper. Dudek 9, also a super keeper. Completely changed how this game would go. I had mainly sort of 1-1, 2-2 in Sims, so that's why I wasn't confident of a Liverpool clean sheet. But yeah, super keepers turned up. It's just one of those things. You can't really do anything about that if that's going to happen. Lescott was a beast yet again. 9 key headers. But it's not to be, you shouldn't be really surprised when you got Owen on the pitch. As we've already said before, Owen is not a person to fall back on bonus. Both him and Fowler failed to win virtually anything in the air the entire time. Yeah, for Owen in my Sims against Derby, he was dreadful. So I saw a lot of people saying he could do all right in his fixture, and I really didn't think he would. Didn't quite think he'd be getting 1 point, and obviously couldn't take the hit because it's Derby, so just had to pray get something. But yeah, not a good pick for this week. And against those centre-backs, it never was going to be, really. 0 shots for Owen yet. Just dreadful. I went for Owen, and I obviously had him captain when he missed a penalty, rather than go for Van Nistelrooy or 2 tough games. Van Nistelrooy scores both. Now looks like he's going to play in the double. And Owen's been basically a troll. So that was a failed move as well. Bishkan, an absolute beast at the back, though, as well. I mean, we've said it before, 20 for jumping. So when he actually plays at centre-back, he can smash it for bonus. And yeah, he's unbeatable in the air, basically. I'm an Owen, Graham. Harsh on myself. It's a shite pick. Everton and Ipswich, then. Everton, only 5 shots. Still managed to win the game. On target, that is. 4 for Ipswich, 50-50. No one really wants me to go into too much detail here, do they? Gravison had a great game. Naismith, obviously, firing in the 2 assists. I see his stats are actually pretty good. He's got a fair number of assists for the season. That's not bad at all. I think he's like 5 million is the problem. It's quite expensive. But yeah, I mean, for the double, I don't know if anyone's really looking at them. I think probably the only options I'd even consider would be Rosinsky, maybe, as just being different. Ketspire, 5 million's obviously an option. Can play both. If you can just hit a random cheapie and switch him, could do well. And then the usual Weir with the 9 here. David Weir's just a solid option. And obviously Naismith, if you can bump up to it, could be. But I mean, my preference would still probably be David Weir or Stubbs if they fit. I don't know what you guys think. Yeah, definitely deserve more from the home West Ham game, Graham. I think so. Who has pens for Everton? Often it's where's the midfielder? Is it Gemmell or it's the other midfielder? Pembridge, is it? can't remember which one of them it is. It's either I think it might be Gemmell. They've taken penalties this season quite often. I think he usually gets them. Otherwise, Unsworth can take them. But I think this sim, we've seen the centre midfielder take them quite a lot. And I think it's Scott Gemmell. As you can see, he's got 3 goals here. I'm fairly confident it was him. Ipswich, Haridason only sort of half did his cheat code here. Didn't quite step up. They played this formation, which is they don't always play it. And it's not particularly good for them, I don't think, when they play this way. So, let's move on. Unsworth does take them quite often, yeah, but a lot of players have 0 jack for pens, which means that sometimes they get a higher value. And I'm pretty sure Pembridge is higher in this sim, from what we've seen. But, we've said it before, that doesn't mean anything. Sometimes in the game they'll just give pens to different people. Leicester and Fulham. See, Fulham had 8 shots in this game. Only 3 were on target, however. 3-1 to Leicester. Probably flattered them a little bit. Game was very equal. So away from home for Fulham to get that amount of possessions, not too bad actually. So they did okay in this game. As you can see here, for people who are talking about the Wise assist, I think this was the game. The game has not given him an assist. So they said very, very clearly at the start they will add manual assists for certain situations, and those were own goals, where it's clearly the cause of that person. And if someone wins a free kick, and then the free kick is scored, they will manually add it, because penalties assists are already given in the game as normal. So those were the 2 circumstances. They weren't going to give them for deflected shots or any of that stuff. So basically, in this occurrence, he took a corner and Taggart scored. I'm just going to show you, and yeah, I mean it's dodgy, but the game does this a lot. So Wise lifted in the corner into the area. Taggart looked certain to score. He scores, but normally in this situation, it will say the corner came in, Taggart rose above the defender, he headed the ball home or something along those lines. So he's actually met the cross and scored. Here it just skips a bit. So for all we know, there was a goal mouth scramble and then Taggart looked certain to score. It doesn't actually say connected to his corner directly. So yeah, you could look at that 2 ways, I guess. Unfortunate, but the game's not giving it, so that's it. That's all you can do. Is there anything else of note here? Is it finally getting a brace? I mean, he is often a fairly decent pick, but a little bit too late. And the Jerry Ferry, I didn't own him. What was he getting, 11 points or something? Guy's absolutely nuts, isn't he? Key tackles, key headers, everything, and even throws in a goal. Dean Sturridge, why are you like this, says Ryan. Yeah, it's the thing with Dean. I mean, I honestly in Sims saw braces and hat-tricks in this game from him quite a lot. But if the game's not going how they want, or you know, they're coasting like they were here, they can just take him off, and that's half the problem with Dino, is he gets early subbed a lot. It's one of those Klaus Jensen things where you're either getting like a goal or he's getting an early sub. It's just very, very frustrating. Yeah, 1 header attempted. He doesn't really do headers. He's only got 10, so he's not really that. Yeah, Graham, exactly. Stage 1, the South Park reference. Take the corner, stage 2, stage 3, goal. Exactly that. So you can understand why the comms guy put in assists, was they obviously just go through the match report and it looked like it was a Wise assist, but the game said no. Not today. As for Fulham, mostly dreadful here. Boa Morte, 19 passes, not great. I mean, he was playing up front, but he managed to get an assist in an assist in this game. Sorry, obviously got his goal later, and got a 7. Marlow with the 4 shots, 2 on target, 1 goal, so potentially could have got a little bit more. But Fulham weren't. I mean, although the stats were okay here and here, when you look at them as individuals, nothing really stood out at all in the key contributions. Alan Goma, as usual, was pretty good, but only 6s and 7s, which obviously the bonus just makes such a big difference. But yeah, Marlow owners can probably think they'll feel a little bit unfortunate. Didn't win any headers, but a lot of shots there. Newcastle and Villa. Newcastle winning 1-0. Stats suggest maybe could be a little bit more. Dominated the game. Villa didn't really even turn up. Defensive, pressing, so didn't really try. Newcastle attacking. It was just how many goals can they get, which is often not many, unless you have Shearer, and they didn't have Shearer. Dabby's ass, loads of key contributions here. 9 man of the match. You know, if only they've been playing this guy most of the season, he can be a very, very good pick. It was obviously dreadful most of the first half, and then when he comes in randomly, he does pretty well. So I feel bad for him. But clean sheets for the other guys. Solano still on his absolute tear of a season, really. Take away the injury, it's pretty damn good for a midfielder, isn't it? Even in centre mid this week. Newcastle continued their theme of their forwards basically getting 0 passes. I think last week Bellamy had like 11, 7 and 9 for Amiobi and Court here. Dion Dublin was against Dabby's ass, by the way, and that's why I had a lot of interactions. And Dublin, who's a tank, 18 for jumping, ended up not winning much. And Dabby's ass actually has 18 as well, so matched him. So when you have those matchups, can be really key. So Dabby's ass has managed to dominate it. Fair play. Southampton and Middlesbrough. Has anyone got any players from these teams? I guess people have got Festa, right? I think we said last week, Andy, correct me wrong, didn't we say that BT might be up against Festa and therefore he has a good chance of bonus because he'll have a lot of interactions? This depends which way it'll go. Well, this was pretty much the story of the game. BT 16 headers, 10, 3 for key, 3 shots. Finally got a goal. Well, not finally, I think he scored a few recently, but got a goal, got the man of the match. But as a result, as you can see, BT's on the left here, Festa's on the right here, so they played against each other. Festa got lots of interactions here. As a result, got his 8, but obviously didn't get bonus just because Lundekvam and Taha also then managed to dominate Boksic and Rickard, who here for the headed attempts lots but couldn't really win them, and Lundekvam and Taha turned into Terry and Desai for a day. So it was very much a story of centre back versus centre forward in this game, and BT ended up being the king. Middlesbrough should have won the game though, right? Charlton and Sunderland. This game will go down in history as the day the sad news came of John Robinson's passing. RIP in the chat. It's a sad, sad day. I'll be mourning him. I think he's Welsh, right? Yeah, it's a fellow Welshie. Thanks, John. Thanks for the memories. Rory LBM, and I'm not even saying that. Yeah, Jason Ewell bossing it. Headers. Well, he had the opportunity to boss it. He didn't win as many as he should have done. Again here for Ewell on the right side, up against McCartney on the left, who's not the worst defender in the world, but he's certainly not the best. I was really hoping for something special there. He still got obviously a golden bonus. Could have been a lot more. Charlton dominated. Possession wise, fairly equal. But in terms of shots, much better. F's in the chat, yeah. That's a Twitch thing, isn't it? F's in the chat for John Robinson. McAllister, yeah, with the assist. Fair play. This was a really good game for Charlton on paper. Really good. And yeah, 2-0 obviously is good, but I wanted more. Come on, Jason Ewell. I got you in over Janssen, for Christ's sake. You got 1 goal and he's got about 8 in the space of that time. So, not my best move at the moment. Had a lot riding on this game week. And he did nothing. Arca playing at left back wasn't ideal. And Michael Reddy, who I said could do actually pretty well, plays a 5, 13 passes and does nothing in the entire game. So perhaps he can't quite do as well. Rufus has been alright. Nothing special, Andy. Mark Fish has been better. Adam saying Rufus can do well. Yeah, Wilcox was largely anonymous. He had 2 key passes. 2 shots, 1 on target. It's not that anonymous. There's definitely worse out there. West Ham and Spurs. West Ham more shots, more possession, deserved the game. Often quite a goal fest, 2-2-ish on Sims, something like that. So it proved to be. Defoe, when he plays, can be brutal. I think someone said, it might have been Jack actually, saying, is Defoe an option? Again, when he plays, he is an option. He's got this 20 for off the ball, 20 for determination, 20 for finishing, technique. He is a good striker. He's crap in the air, but at home, he can get quite a lot of chances. And I think even in the comms, it said at one point, I remember one of the tweets for the goals was Defoe has made himself some space. Well, again, it's the old Phillips thing, off the ball. So yeah, he found some space against the defenders. As for Spurs, Gus Poyet, 10 headers, 3 attempted. Again, that's similar to the Lampard thing, and the Yule thing is often a sign that they're getting in the right areas. Didn't obviously get anything, but it looks good for him. Rebrov with the troll, 17 passes, one key, didn't really do much else. 1 shot, played a 6, off he comes. Not particularly good, was it? And I think that's my cleaner coming around right now, so I'm going to close the door. Bear with me a sec. Hi, yeah, I'm just streaming the video live, so I'll just close the door. Thanks. It wouldn't be a CM stream from me or James without some sort of kerfuffle. Oh, actually, even Andy and Dave love the Hall of Mirrors, don't they? So if you hear a Hoover in the background, I apologise. Right, anyone else want to see anything from this game? I don't think there's much to talk about, is there? Slakovic with the goal, still played a 7. Yeah, he's been doing alright of late, but again, the bonus is just never there for him, is it? It's never there. Yeah, Captain Owen and Rebrov, big letdowns. I mean, they had some decent games, to be fair. I went Owen myself. It's just unfortunate, I think. The problem is they're playing from teams where their attack can't be relied on, and they themselves can't be relied on. So you run 20 sims. They'll sometimes dip into the top 6 goal scorers, but it's not that consistent compared to some of the other names. And also the teams, both of those teams have goals highly spread out amongst their teams. Liverpool are prime examples. They end up often being 3rd highest scoring in the whole league or something, and they don't have a player who scored more than 8 goals come the end of the season. It's just madness. Despite Owen, I think after Veron has got the highest potential ability of any player in the league, maybe. I think it's Veron, Van Nistelrooy and Owen, if I remember right. And Henry's there, but they're certainly in the frame. They're all very, very close. Joe Cole as well with the troll here, really. 3 goals for West Ham at home, only playing a 7, no assist or goal. Steve Lomas taking the limelight. The game finally realised Izzy Eripen's crap and took him off. But obviously not as crap as Rebrov, apparently. Oh, this game's hilarious. So Arsenal decide to pull on the Rep 12. Then win 4-0 with a shite team. With Jermaine Pennant getting a brace, for example. Jeffers, who I took out the other week, gets man of the match goal assist now. Getting trolled massively here. But this is the funny bit. Arsenal had 4 shots on target and they scored 4 goals. Bolton 12-7 and get 0. I mean, again, Seaman pulled a super keeper, didn't he? I think it's 10-pointer, was it? What are you going to do? I mean, 50% possession away from home against Arsenal from Bolton. They played well in this game and had a lot of shots. But Arsenal, again, I think I said it last week, where they've been playing well and then losing games, and now they're playing terribly and winning games. 4 shots, 4 on target, 4 goals. It's madness. There's other teams who are getting like 14 shots on target and not getting any goals. So yeah, a big troll from them. No one's got any of their players, have they really? So I'm not going to go for any of this. Pires getting subbed off early. I think a few went for him. That's unfortunate. Could have been in pens in this game. Did get his assist, but what's funny here as well for Bolton is everyone virtually gets slapped with a 5, despite them playing pretty well. I mean, they just didn't have any key contributions, but lots of shots. 3 on target for Neil Maddison. Yeah, Jefferson's on Henri, says Storm Legacy. Yeah, apparently. It's just an hilarious game. I say in my Sims I had Arsenal hardly scoring against Bolton. It was like, I think Arsenal were like 1.5 goals on average, which is terrible at home to Bolton. But the stats suggest that probably would have been a more accurate representation rather than a 4-0. What are you going to do? Finally, Chelsea and Fulham. The 90th minute, Lewis Boamorte, killer for me. Double Chelsea defence. Don't even own Boamorte. I'm not going to bang on about it. He was obviously a good pick for this week because he's a midfielder who can play up front and he's got pens. So there's no qualms for me that he was a decent pick. It's a bit unfortunate, I think, for those of us who didn't go Fulham, where Fulham score only 2 goals across 2 games, yet every popular pick manages to get some sort of return. Stolz is here with the assist. Boamorte gets the goal, somehow manages an 8 despite only 1 shot, 1 on target, no key contributions. He had 1 key pass. Not quite sure how he managed to jam that one, but that also gave him the 2 bonus as well. So fair play, I guess. See, 3 shots, 3 on target for Fulham in the entire game. Possession though was bang on 50-50 first half and second half, and obviously therefore overall. As for Chelsea, yeah, Carbone gate. Carbone has his assist. It's right here. So the game has given him an assist. The guys in the comms didn't do it. There's no tricks going on here, guys. It's just one of them was unfortunate with the Wise thing. Wasn't credited in the game. This one was credited. If we actually see, I think they've done it once already. This game can be funny for how it does assists. Where is it? So Carbone laid the ball off. It was a great chance for Zola. Van der Sar beat the ball away. Zola got to the loose ball and he shot and he scored. That shouldn't really be an assist, should it? But we've had this happen, I think, definitely at least once, and maybe before, where we had fingertips, I think, or something from the keeper. And I said maybe that doesn't count. I remember saying it on stream. But it seems to give those as assists on occasion. And it has on this one. I shall take it all day. Where's Terry's bonus? I know, that was part of the reason why I went Terry. I thought in the away game, he loves the bonus in the away game. And I thought over the 2, he could get it, but ends up with the 3-pointer. You bastard. Good Johnson was terrible in this game. Absolutely shocking. Zola wasn't much better. I think if Chelsea had some decent forwards for this game, they could have done really well, but they didn't. John Terry, look at this: 14 headers, 9-1, 3 key. How he's only got a 7, I don't know. He must have made a mistake for like the Boamorte goal or something. In fact, let's have a look at the Boamorte goal. Stolz has put in a cross, that doesn't say. Boamorte superb control, smashed it in low. No, I think Desai was a good pick. Again, you could rerun the sim 30 times and I think you obviously get different results. So I still maintain that Chelsea defence was a good pick over this week. Mainly because they can all get attacking output, they can all get bonus quite often. Clean sheets weren't that. I think I had 12 in 40 over the 2 games. So yeah, 1 clean sheet would have been nice, but more for that. And definitely would have thought -4s would have covered it, but wasn't to be. Wasn't to be. Yeah, not surprising that Zola played both really, Audie, because none of the games were rep games. So there's no reason. This is an away game, so it's not a rep one, so they'll pick their best team. The home game's home to Man United, not a rep game, they'll pick their best team. And they've got I think they had 4 or 5 days in between. So 7 or 8% condition each day that can go back on it. When you have low stamina, it's more towards the 7s or sometimes the 6s, but there's still enough time. So Zola, if anyone, was likely to miss out just because he might not have recovered in time, especially if he knackered himself out in the first one. That's it, what we're always saying. He could have tired himself out, but his natural fitness is actually not that bad. So in the game, he didn't tire himself out too much, and he was available. That's quite a big distance because it was Saturday to Wednesday. So if we go here, 88% taken off in the 54th minute. There's no reason for him to be tired, right? Hello from Bangkok, Thailand. Hello, Jerry. I've been there before. When it was in a state of emergency and there was people with army soldiers with guns on every corner, and it was in lockdown. That was interesting, but a nice place in parts. In other parts it was brutal. It said Zola went off injured, did it? Must have missed that one. Let's have a look in the match report. No, chose to make a substitution. Knight took to the field to replace Zola. Doesn't say it was an injury. No, I think you dreamed that one, Rory. Or he recovered extremely quickly. Who knows? Right, I think that's the teams reviewed then. We can go look at the Champions League quickly. So Dortmund beat Man United 1-0 as the guys put up. Man United did their usual away formation, which they did against Chelsea, yet still managed to score 2 goals in that one, and this is more likely what you see. So this is what I was expecting. However, exactly like we said before, there wasn't early goals from this team, so they didn't change their setup. So this went how the Chelsea game probably should have gone for them. Amoroso with a 10, Didi with a 10. 2 great picks there, and yeah, it's a struggle now for Man United. 1 away goal and they could be in trouble, which would mean that they don't play the final, obviously, because they go out, and then rotation probably won't be an issue. So I may as well just discuss this now, actually, whilst I'm on it. So this is only my take on it, guys. There is no 100% confirmed, but as Man United haven't won the league, this is not a rep game home to Arsenal, so I would be surprised if there is any rotation in this game. I think this will be full strength, unfortunately for me, because I have no Man United. The away to Everton game, I think that would have been full strength regardless of the situation. Again, it's not a rep game, and I rarely see it after Champions League, if at all. The reason why I say that is because sometimes the game after a Champions League will be a home to an easy side in some sims, and then you will see some rotation, but then you can put that down just to normal rep rotation. So against teams where it's not a rep game, I haven't seen it. So to me, I think that's going to be full strength Arsenal and Everton. That is the most likely scenario. Then the West Ham game is going to come down to whether they made the final. If they've made the final, I would expect to see full rotation against West Ham. Doesn't always happen, but it's like a really high % chance. If they don't make the final, which is looking a possibility, then it's not a rep game because it's away to West Ham. So again, I would expect full team. So I've been absolutely shafted by the fact that Man United didn't secure the title. I'm probably going to have to bring in some Man United now, otherwise face getting smashed. Adam saying, bit risky with the Champions League game in between the 2 double games still forever. However, sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure it works like that myself. Yeah, I think it's based on whether the league's won. Everything I'm seeing is to do with whether the league's won. But it doesn't mean it can't happen. That's why I've challenged people to say, go out there and look at your sims and see, report back on the situation. Because obviously you have to have a sim where Man United even make it to this stage, and then have like a tough game in between the 2 semis, which is quite hard to make happen or to find. Oh, and injuries as well. Okay, yeah, I get that. So yeah, you could obviously pick up some injuries in the home to Dortmund game, some tiredness or whatever, and then it would affect the lineup for Everton. Right, I'm with you. Yeah, nothing you can do about that. What can you possibly do about that? Just have to hope. So that's my take on it. Yeah, by all means, go look at Sims and challenge it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a full rep here or something, but I can't see it. No comp. I don't think it does. I mean, let's say they've won the league by this game, which again you'd probably expect. I don't think they'll rotate because I just don't see it in away games afterwards. I see rep once they've won the league. I mean, there's a chance. I don't think it will happen though. Triple captain Emerson. Well, remember Roy Keane will be available for this game here, assuming he hasn't got himself injured, and Veron as well. Yeah, let's see the other Champions League game. Real Madrid winning 1-0 away. Yeah, a little bit of a shock here. I backed Lazio for this one, but that tells a story. Wayward shooting. One shot on target for Real Madrid. It goes in. 62% for Lazio. They got done. An own goal by Cesar, who then got subbed. Surprised they're not stoning his car tonight. Crespo with 3 shots. All off target at 6. It's like a collector's item. So just an incredibly unlucky game. However, Lazio are that good they could possibly. I mean, they're not amazing, but they are pretty good, and Real Madrid aren't that great. So there's a chance they could turn it around. But at the Bernabeu, with a 1-0 away goal, you'd have to say Real Madrid are heavy favourites now, aren't they? But anything can happen. So we could be looking at a Real Madrid Dortmund final. I just hope Man United at home can turn it round. In fact, let's have a look at how Dortmund play away from home. Defensive, direct, hard pressing. So they'll set up defensive at Old Trafford. However, this is a really good formation in the game. We shall see. Right, let's get on to the teams, guys. There is a little bit of news. Not masses. Oh, I need to look at the games, don't I, and when they're played. These guys are all playing imminently. Liverpool, Blackburn, Man United, Arsenal, 1 extra day of recovery. Yeah, Simeone's a tank, Graham. Fulham and Charlton have got 2 days extra recovery. And then Everton, Man United is, yeah, on the 15th. So a massive gap there. What's that, 9 days? 9 days after the Monday. But obviously they've got the Champions League in between that time as well. And then we've got the final day. So, let's go back to the teams. Upson's still injured. We knew that already. He's out for the season. Parler picked up a bruised shin, so he's out for 1 day, 76%. Obviously can play. Great Super Saturday battle for 4, followed by the title showdown. The cup final, let me just show you that quickly, is on the 11th of May. So it's in between this bit. Again, could randomly get injuries in the cup final, couldn't we? Ed saying, has this been stated? Everton versus Man United follows the other fixtures at 10 PM like last night. I think it might do. Andy Martin's in the chat though. He shall be able to clarify. I think there's been some conversations about that. I'll leave that up to him to put in the chat. I'm not 100% myself. So yeah, these are the guys that are sort of in the low 90s here, but they don't play until tomorrow. And most of them are the reserve team because they put out the full rep, didn't they? So Thierry is good to go. Watch him bang a hat-trick against Man United now to troll everyone massively. Aston Villa. Cash Law's 94%. He's unhappy though. Retired from international football, wants first team football. No one's got any of these guys, have they? So I don't even think it's worth clicking them. I mean, Taylor's 55%, he won't be playing. Everyone else is good. They play today. Blackburn. Now, we knew Janssen went off injured in the game. He's out for 2 weeks with a twisted knee. Injured in Blackburn's 3-2 win over Leeds. So 2 weeks. If we go to the fixtures, 2 weeks from my maths puts him bang on a return on the 18th. Does it not? Yeah, 14 days on top. Puts him bang on for the 18th. So, unless he goes... No, he can't go orange because they're playing soon. So he's not going to go orange. So there is that. That's a good thing. So that means home to Sunderland, he should probably be back fit and available. But he will miss away to Liverpool, which was a tough game. So you've got to think about what you're going to do now. Missing forwards can be brutal. I mean, I found out this week with Phillips on the bench. So it's a big decision, isn't it? Do you hold off, bench him for 1 week if you can handle it, and then have him home to Sunderland? Usually a goal fest, good player. That's an option. It's not the worst news. He's not completely out for the season, so I think you got a little bit more lucky on that. But yeah, it's a decision to make. Just ship him out equally. There's plenty of people who've got good games that day. James saying can't afford to keep. Yeah, so exactly. I mean, when you're looking for the high ceiling on your transfers, it's usually forwards, isn't it? So you can always take him out and then bring him back in if you afforded that luxury. Right. Who else is important here? Two guys important, isn't he? Where's he? He's 100%. Some of these guys are a little bit low. They do play tomorrow. So Lasso, for example, might be at 91% by the time the game comes along. So good feature. Janssen was your third sub this game week anyway. Right, yeah. So that works out well for you then, Irons. Then you've got him back for the next one. Two guys been incredible. Yeah. Switch of formation does wonders. This is very much a Dennis Wise season. I mean, if we were to play this campaign as a computer, you'd probably just stick Dennis Wise and two guy in centre midfield and never touch him. Not even bother subbing in and out midfielders, and you'd probably have done okay. But we weren't to know that, were we? That they were going to smash the set pieces and stuff. Bolton. Kevin Nolan is suspended. 3-match ban, season done. Rob Lee is suspended, season done. So that's like their two centre midfielders quite often. So that can be an issue. Hendry is also out for a month after picking up an injury in the 4-0 loss. So that's quite a big loss for them as well. They are at home to West Ham. So they'll now be up against probably Defoe. So maybe you could target them. But West Ham playing away. Bit of a risk, isn't it? But losing one of their stalwarts at the back and not having a centre midfield, there's a chance they can get exposed, I would say. I'm just going to click these guys just so you can see, but I don't think anyone's going to have any of the others. Let's move on. John Robinson, condition, blank. Is that certified dead? He was 1% in the game. He came off, stretchered off, and they must have dropped him off the edge of a cliff, or his heart must have stopped. I don't know. Hence the rips in the chat. Will we ever see him again? It says he's only out for a week with strained knee ligaments, but I mean the heart has firmly stopped. Confirmed dead. Adam France saying straight dead. Rip. We'll miss you, John. Thanks for the memories. You were due to have a half-decent season till Wilcox turned up, and now you're dead. Collis is 2 weeks with a groin. 10 days for Andy Todd. Everyone else is good. Chelsea playing today. Petit still out. We knew that. Di Matteo, I think that's a new one. So yeah, the old dreaded gash leg is back. Out for a week. So he will miss obviously this one, and then should be back for home to Ipswich. That means there is a space in centre midfield alongside Lampard. So who will play there is a bit of a lottery. I mean, we've had Morris come in. Could be Morris. Gash counter 1. Probably put my money on Morris, but there's a number of guys. I mean, even we've had where is he? Dalabona's floated in occasionally. Could be him. They had this guy on the bench in recent weeks and brought him on for God knows what reason. Utterly dreadful. So he could easily come in as well. Could even play Desai in centre midfield. Does happen. But I don't think anyone really cares, right? About that. Yeah, percentage wise, Zola's 91. So more than high enough to play, but the game could give him a rest. Yeah, and James Nelson saying Villa doesn't look a great game. I agree. I don't think it's a good game at all. And I have 3 Chelsea players. Yeah, Zola centre mid 2. Yeah, Adam, I've seen that. He can play centre mid. He can play right wing. God knows why you play Zola in centre midfield with 0 pace, 0 jumping ability, no strength, nothing. He'd get battered worse than Selakovic, but there we go. But then we thought that about Chelsea versus United. This is true. This is true. I miss Mario. Yeah, me too, Adam. Me too. He's only out for 1 more. He'll be back for home to Ipswich for another hat trick. Imagine that. Transferred him out as part of a hit, and then Melchior ends up outscoring the person I bought in 1 game. You can see it now. Zenden's 94, Carboni's 94 as well. So Carboni in particular gets early subs, and now Gronkiar and Stanic are back fit. So there's every chance that they could start, or more likely just come on for one of Zenden or Carboni during the game. Derby, don't think anyone cares here, do they? Low condition for a few players at the top. These guys don't play. Who wants Bosnich? I'll leave you to pronounce that one, Andy. I know you've got that in your locker. Can you throw a J in here anywhere? Kocha Elispor? Kocha Elispor? Or Coca? It's got to be Kocha, right? Or Coca? I don't know. Kokelispor? Kokelispor? We'll go with that. See if you can get a J in there somewhere. Tonton's 98. Someone was asking about Tonton. Everton. I believe the leak was on James's stream last night as to who actually plays in this game, so we already know. So just to clarify, Dave runs the Sims. So he'll have run the sim already for tonight's games, tomorrow night's games, given the short turnaround. So that's how he's able to get the leak for this team. So we actually know it. I can't remember what the team was, but it was out late last night. So I think they'll tweet it out. So we've kind of got the knowledge here as to who will actually play. And I'm pretty sure Stubbs was in it, which you'd expect anyway because he's back 100% and he's one of their better defenders. So yeah, I mean, their games for the double, Middlesbrough away, home to Man United, don't scream points, do they? But when you have the 2 games, especially with penalty takers, they can do okay. So, and also the centre backs for bonus can do okay if the name's not John Terry. So I do think it's still viable. The problem being that, yeah, I wouldn't expect much in the away to Middlesbrough game at all, but Middlesbrough aren't great, so I suppose they could squeak out something. Home to Man United. I mean, Van Nistelrooy sometimes struggles away from home for the headers and stuff, so if you get the centre back against Van Nistelrooy, could get some bonus there, but again, it's not looking great, is it? I think for me, Rosiński, if you're on an absolute worldy punt. Oh, Andy's put the team leak in the chat there. Perfect. And I think I mentioned Ket Spires, probably the only other one, just because he's 5 million. If you can slip in somewhere, could be alright, but they don't particularly interest me. I think David Weir and Stubbs are probably the ones that I'd go for, if any. Fulham. Higginbotham's 2 weeks with a damaged shoulder. Everyone else is of high percentage, and they've got 2 days anyway, so they should all be 100%. Obviously, that's 2 extra days of training, so you never know. Could pick up an injury in training before the games, I guess, but that would be highly upsetting and unfortunate, but there is that. Ket Spire could slip into the advertising hoarding. Yeah, that's another problem. He does actually have some worrying stats in that regard. Professionalism, etc. Temperament, as you'd expect. So red cards could be a thing. Do we think Fulham will do a West Ham and Saints and start winning now? I don't think the game, it doesn't take any of that into account. These guys will continue to play as per normal. So the only reason Man United are affected is because when the league is won and they're in the Champions League, if they weren't in the Champions League, they would continue to play as normal as well. Who wants Marley apart from me wanting to have scored more captain points? Well, it's a decent game. It's home to Charlton. Charlton are generally dreadful away, so I think that's why a lot of people jumped on Fulham, and you can see why, because that's a decent game for them. So Marley, Bermorty, all the guys could do well there. However, I mean, Fulham, for me, just are pretty dreadful and have been for a while. I don't like the new manager. I much prefer Tigana. No preferred style of play. I hate. They only scored 2 goals over the double, 1 in each, and generally, as you see here, it's 0, 1 or 2 goals in virtually every game they play. This might have even been Tigana in charge at this point. In fact, I'm almost, yeah, it was, because it's attacking. Ipswich, Tarico serving his suspension, his 1 match ban for this decent game, home to Newcastle. If you've got Horizon, you know what to do. Stick the armband on him. No, I'd certainly play him. And everyone else that I think we already knew about everyone, right? Finidi was already out for the season. Magilton was out for the season. Armstrong is a few days with a thigh strain, 90%. Everyone else is okay. Audie saying I might captain Marley again. Interesting. Not sure I'd be that brave, but it's a good fixture on paper. Leeds. So Bowyer is still out 10 days. So after this one, will be available for home to Liverpool. Viduka, 10 days still, and he's red, so he won't be playing. In fact, when's the game? It's today, yeah. So he will not be playing, but looks like he's going to be available for the final game of the season. Dewberry is a few days, 90%, so could feature. And these guys are out. So they are playing home to Southampton, which screams rep, doesn't it? And when they've repped in the past, what's happened? Harry Kewell and Ian Hart have gone missing. So that is a concern as a Hart owner, considering he's utterly shite away and then misses every easy home game, it appears. But we just have to pray. Again, it's only a % chance. No, you never know whether it's actually going to happen. We just can identify the games that there is a chance that it's going to happen. So, I mean, well, I'm just going to have to play Hart and just hope he plays, aren't I? I'm certainly not going to be subbing him out ahead of 2 home games, but I haven't got the luxury to do that. But if you haven't got Hart, I think it's a valid to not get him and just hope that it's a rep game. Consistent heartbreak, Colm says. Yeah, indeed. As for forwards, I mean, home to Southampton is a great game. Robbie Keane's obviously the safe pick. I much prefer whoever plays in the striker role, be that Bridges or Smith. Who plays though? That's the worry. We just don't know. Again, I would always say that Smith is more likely to play than Bridges, but they're both rotatable players. Smith played the first, Bridges played the second, so it's not based on performance. If I had to guess, it would be Smith, but it could be anyone. And to be fair, if it's a full rep game, they can throw in any of these guys. Simon Johnson, Adam Francis said, yeah. So any of those guys could come in. It's just probably too big a risk to go there yourself. If you have one of them, you probably just play them and hope, right? And make sure you've got a bench. Eric Bakker for the Pens, even if he doesn't start. Yeah, if Hart doesn't start and Bakker does, you know already he's getting a pen. The thing is, Bowyer's back next week after that, so then Bakker's not guaranteed to play. So can you bring Bakker in, then knowing he probably is a shout for a bench when Bowyer's back the week after? Don't know. Leicester. Everyone is fit and healthy. Starman, Dennis Wise, even. Not too many injuries, is there? Liverpool. They play tomorrow. Hippier is back from his suspension this week, but he picked up a sprained wrist in training, so he's 90% orange. So he might not play this one. Which is kind of annoying actually, because as a Honcho owner, I prefer he was there to help me get a chance of a clean sheet, because when they both play together, they're great in that regard. So I certainly do hope he does play. But yeah, unfortunately, if you've held Hippier through his ban for these 2 games, because I suppose you could have, but I don't think many will have. The big boys, Man United. Okay, so Dwight York is a few days 90% with his broken arm. He has been on the bench regularly. On the bench in the Champions League game and in the league. But as it's a few days, he could be available for he will be available for the Everton game, assuming he doesn't play in this one and get injured. So that makes Andy Cole a bit of a risk if you've got him for me. Condition wise, obviously Roy Keane suspended, I should say, actually, so he will not be playing this first one. He is back available for the Everton game. Van Nistelrooy is 95, Veron 96%. He is now not unavailable. He is now available. So that'd be fun if he didn't play for some reason, right? After being unavailable but playing, and then switch it around for a laugh. Beckham 100, Barthez, everyone. So they've got, aside from Keane and York, they've got their full team. Sylvester 96, etc., etc. Veron in for Luis Boa Morte in his Brescian saying. Do like that. He's on pens. Set pieces. Love covering those players for doubles. I have not got Chadwick, James. I wish I could. I ended up not being able to carry him because I had a week where I had 0 bench. But anyway, I don't wish I had him now because, say, the rotation is highly unlikely. If Man United had won the league, then I'd be loving having Chadwick because I'd have played him in all these games. He's probably going to play 38 if they're still if they're in the final. Yeah, Emerson comes in for Keane in the first game, and then I would like to think Keane comes in for Emerson for the second game. That's dependent on no other injuries being picked up by Veron or anyone like that. Middlesbrough, they've been done. Well, Southgate's been done. He's 68% orange, so he is out. So they are playing at home to Everton. No Ekiog, no Southgate. So I suppose that changes things a little bit in terms of the prospects of Everton's for the double. What do you think? Do you guys think that's a good thing? I mean, suddenly Rosiński could do okay, right? If he play, is he playing? I don't even know. Where was the league again? I'm going back up. Yeah, he is playing. So suddenly Campbell and Rosiński maybe look better. Ketspire. As he's 68, he's below the 70% threshold. When do they play? Today, yeah. So he won't be playing. Unless there's some sort of miracle. Crossley's also out, 3 games. But obviously Swartz not a bad keeper, is he? So I don't think that affects him too badly. Food for thought. The fact that these guys leaked the Everton team's conspiracy theory to me. I like to think that they've leaked it for a reason. So Everton go off and Rosiński scores 4 goals against a Southgateless Middlesbrough. There we go. Newcastle. Dyer's double dead. He's out. Shearer. He is orange again. He is 75%. Only 5% over the threshold where they usually play players. And this is Alan Shearer. So, what do we think happened, guys? Put your money on it. They play today versus Ipswich. Would not be shocked at all to see Shearer in the lineup. Yeah, on 75% orange. And then it's play the lottery as to what minute he comes off injured. I mean, even if he doesn't come off injured, he could come off early because his condition is incredibly low. So, a worry. However, it's Alan Shearer, so he could, much like Matt Jansen, score 3 goals and then come off injured or get subbed. So, you could take a punt, but away to Ipswich doesn't sound like the best game to do that, does it? I certainly wouldn't be recommending it. Davis is out for 2 weeks. Elliott is a few days with a chest injury. Hitman saying, what did I miss? Did Wise get the assist? He did not, Hitman. I will show you briefly at the end, but you can always rewatch to see the rationale as to why. Chettle is also out for 1 game, so we're back for the final game of the season. To potentially steal pens off of Alan Shearer if he doesn't injure himself beforehand. Robert also 1 game ban, so back for the final game. So not a great team for Newcastle this week, is it? So good news if you're a Horizon owner. Yeah, Graham saying Rosiński with a double game week, then Southampton home the final day. Yeah, it's a teaser. I mean, if you've got nothing to lose, it's a bit of fun, this, isn't it? Depends what the situation your team's in. Right, Southampton. Yeah, obviously no one's really got any of their players. However, they are away to Leeds, as we've already discussed. Terrible game for them. But they're also now without Lundegvam, 10 days out of a strained neck, who is comfortably their best centre-back. Yeah, Leeds wants Solano, I saw that, yeah. He does often go to Leeds as well. So that'll be another midfielder into the mix if he goes there. Just on the right wing alone, we've had like Mabry, Baka, Bowyer, and then Solano thrown into the mix as well. Poor Berkovic. Yeah, James saying, if only we knew the Leeds team. Southampton are utter shite away from home, probably going to get battered, and they don't have their best centre-back. But we don't know the Leeds team. Monk incoming. Could be. Benali, he's floated in every now and then. He could come in. Who was on the bench for him last week? Did they even have a centre back on the bench? They don't need centre backs. None of these guys are centre backs. Didn't even have one. Gary Monk was on it last. Taha and Lundervan played, so we could be seeing Monk. And wasn't it the last time Monk was up against Viduka he got a hat-trick? I'm pretty sure that was it. Pace 6, positioning 9. Oh god. Simon Johnson's getting 5 goals when he plays up front for a Rep 12 team. They scored 5, yeah. Viduka got a hat-trick, I'm pretty sure. If only Viduka was available. Graham S said he kept his triple captain for Viduka in this fixture. That's brutal. So there was a chance he could have been Rep 12 and he'd have been upset, but so we've already been through it. Leeds have only rotated Viduka once this entire season, I think. Get Simon Johnson. If you're in 300th place, get Simon Johnson in and captain him. Or Craig Farrell. No, don't do that. Yeah, I think if you got Smith, you just got to hope he plays, right? Because he could go off big time. If you took him out and then he goes mental and he starts, then you're going to be upset with yourself. I mean, I'm considering just bringing Smith in for an absolute punt, a wild punt. Get him in, and he either gets 3 goals or doesn't play. As long as you got a bench option, it's not the worst idea in the world, is it? The problem is Viduka's back the next week, so then you'd worry whether Smith plays that one as well, let alone this one. Or could go Bridges just to be even more different. You know what I mean about goes off, Carl. Come on, get with the kids. It's the wrong term to use in a game like this, though, where people can be substituted off. You're right. I apologise. Might take a punt. I'm going to have to, Andy. I think, because I've got no Man United, have I? And everyone else below me's Man United are probably not rotating now, so I have to use my subs to get the same players they've already got. I don't like worrying about other people and blocking. I could just go for broke. Get Smith. The game is so tantalising on paper. Anyway, I've only got till 7 o'clock tonight to decide that, so I've only got 6 hours, so I better stop rabbiting. Yeah, Robbie Keane's the safer one. Oh, is Joe Keller? Is that Bliblau? Okay, I can't say that name. Bliblablue. He's actually got Robbie Keane, so that is terrifying, to be fair. Right, this is big news as well. And for anyone who benched Phillips, like me, he's orange and he's 90%. So given he was bang on course for 38 of the season, and I think it's much like Shearer with him, I think you'd have to back him to start. Again, it's a lottery as to whether he comes off injured. Isn't it? Could go off. I keep saying that expression. Could do well. Great game home to Derby. Equally could get substituted in the 4th minute. Or just not play. So that is the worry. Michael Gray, 10 days with a twisted knee. Emerson's home, 2-match ban. And 3 weeks with an injury. So he's double dead. Stub toe after 5 minutes for Phillips. Well, usually it's I mean, it could be a separate injury, obviously, but usually in these situations it's a reoccurrence, so it would be his knee ligaments again. I mean, why you'd mess around with someone who's got knee ligament damage, I don't know, but this is CM. Everyone else is okay. Yeah, Ed saying difficult choice for me. Second, third, and fourth all have Van Nistelrooy, and this is why Man United not winning the league has truly shafted me. Because if they'd have won, I'd have been feeling very confident. I wouldn't have gone without Van Nistelrooy for the double. I can guarantee you I wouldn't have. Spurs, lots of injuries here. Casey Keller's still suspended, so his season's done. Rebrov is 100%. You'll be pleased to know, guys. Doherty is 3-match ban for his red card. Ledley King still a month. And Darren Anderton 10 days with a chest injury. He was already injured as well, I think, before this week. So I think last week this was their team, yeah. So you'd expect it would be very, very similar to that. Again. But it is Leicester at home. So on paper again, chance for a rep game. West Ham. Lots of orange here, isn't there? Carrick still out 2 weeks, 90%. DiCanio, few days, stub toe at 90%. Hayden Fox a week, 90%. And Courtois 1 day, 90%. In terms of their forwards, because it's been a bit of a shit show recently, hasn't it? They got Kitson available, Defoe available, Canute is available 100%, and yeah, Dan DiCanio's a few days 90%, so I suppose you could play. So it's a little bit more healthy to that Bolton team without Hendry. So that's all of it, guys. I suppose the headline news here is Veron is back. Phillips is 90% orange. John Robinson's dead. Is there any other major news? Zola's on like 91%. Did I miss anything major? Oh yeah, Southampton's main centre back is out. And Shearer's back, orange 74%. Let's look at the games quickly. In fact, someone wanted to see the Wise thing again, didn't they, quickly? So let me just show them that. So whoever was on the Dennis Wise hype, this is the game, 3-1. Dennis Wise not credited with an assist in the game. So kind of a mistake in commentary, but not really, because it looked like it might have been from the comms. Let's look at the games. So we know how this game works now, right? We're getting fairly familiar with it. I don't have any odds. The turnaround's just so quick. Yeah, I'll look at Division 1, Andy. Plus, I mean, to be honest, I might do my own personal research, but I released them again this week after my deadline's even gone, showing that Chelsea were decent. I don't think many, at least in my Discord, were really on Chelsea. So if anything, I think I probably affected myself by doing that negatively. Don't know why I'm doing it. So yeah, I mean, I probably won't get time for it. And in any case, if I do it, I think I'm probably just going to shut up shop now because I'm so close. There's only 2 weeks to go, and I've had a really poor last 2 weeks in comparison to some of the other guys. So please don't hate me. I think I'm just going to have to keep my cards close to my chest for the last 2 weeks anyway. I'm not used to this. Usually I'm open about all the stuff I do in fantasy, but it usually doesn't go this well, to be fair. So let's just talk through the games quickly. Aston Villa Chelsea. I do know from looking briefly at the games that, and I actually posted in my Discords, I looked at this because I was wondering how many Chelsea people to bring in. I was worried about this game. Chelsea generally don't do very good in that game. I do know that. So that's a worry. Bolton West Ham. Again, potentially this is a rep game for Bolton because they're at home to a poor side. However, if Defoe plays against Hendry-less Bolton, I'd fancy him to score a few there. Ipswich versus Newcastle. Again, this is another, could be a rep game, but Ipswich are like 12 and Newcastle are 13, so I'd be extremely surprised. Plus, I don't think Ipswich have really done it at all. Tough one. Newcastle got a lot of players out. Probably favour Ipswich for the win or the clean sheet. Leeds versus Southampton, we've already discussed. Big red warning, neon capital sign, possible rep 12. If it doesn't happen, could be any score. Middlesbrough and Everton. Southgate's out. I mean, 1-1, 2-1 Everton. I don't know. I think that'll be tight. Can we have the mug back, says Warren. Yeah. I'll post it back to you. Let's just kick the top 10 guys from the Discord, then you can post my stats. Hey, these guys have been stealthing in there all the time. Perfect Pete pops up last night. Says he's always there in the background. I see you, Perfect Pete. No, I'm joking. If I don't win, which I don't honestly think I will, because I've got no Man United over this double at the moment, I can't begrudge it. I mean, I've come from nowhere. It's been mostly jam. It's been great, and to get top 10, I'll be absolutely buzzing if that happens. Sunderland home to Derby. Again, another potential rep game on paper here, but yeah, Sunderland don't seem to do that very often, and we've already discussed Derby is a good game. Really hopeful Phillips can do something in that one for me and not come off injured. Tottenham and Leicester. Again, another rep game. There's Pete. Hey Pete. Smashed it with a bench boost this week. But this is generally like a goal fest, I think. Leicester can't really defend. They can score quite a few goals away. We know Spurs are like that as well, so I wouldn't be surprised to see 2-2, 3-3, something like that in that game. Liverpool-Blackburn. I'm thinking at the moment that Blackburn will play, because Liverpool are a good team, in their more defensive shape, or at least will set up defensively in some way, probably with the old 7-2-1. At least I'm hoping, because I've got Honcho. So I think that if they don't rep Liverpool, I mean, they rotate anyway, most of their team, but there is a chance for a rep here, that we could be looking at a decent chance of a clean sheet there. Man United and Arsenal. This is like similar to the Chelsea game, I guess, in a way, but obviously Man United being at home, it's usually quite tight. Arsenal set up, I'm going to show you guys how they set up away from home. I think I've shown you before. So good sides. Almost clicked Tottenham there. I said good sides. They set up counter-attack, pressing, defensive. So it will come down to similar to that Chelsea game, where early goals could dictate it. Otherwise, it could be very much a sit back and try and go for a clean sheet from Arsenal. As to whether they'll get it, I'd be highly surprised. Because Man United at home, have Man United failed to score at home pretty much all season? They probably have failed to score at home at some point. But it can't be often. Here. But it's a very rare occurrence. It's probably once all season. I'd have to go check, but yeah, I don't need to big up Man United to you, do I? Fulham at home to Charlton. Again, another rep game for Charlton potentially. Charlton are low rep. But on paper, Charlton are dreadful away. Fulham are not too bad at home. Much better with Tigana at home, but not too bad. So you'd expect a Fulham win there. And then finally, Everton and Man United. Yeah, I mean, Man United away to a fairly bad side is usually a reasonably comfortable sort of 1-2-1 win or something like that. But Van Nistelrooy doesn't always cover himself with glory away from home against decent centre-backs in terms of the headed attempts. So bonus-wise, I'm talking goals. It's Van Nistelrooy, can score easily. But to fall back on bonus if he doesn't score, that might be tough. Right. That's as good as I can give you guys. Is there anything you want to see? I think someone said Division 1, so let's do that quickly. 86 and 86 for Millwall and Man City. Interesting. I thought Millwall were almost assured. They drew 2-2. Millwall at home to Rotherham, who are 19th place. So you'd have thought 3 points there, and they should be securing automatic promotion. Man City are playing Forest away. Where are Forest? Oh, they're 21st. Okay, so not clear cut. Who's better on goal difference? It's not clear either, is it? What's the difference there, guys? 28 here. Oh, Man City got a better goal difference, I think. Interesting. So Man City could nick it on the final day. Oh, it's the same, is it? Don't rely on me for maths. Equal, okay. That'll be very interesting then. What happens if it's 2-0 or something and they both got the exact same points and the exact same goal difference? Does it go on goals scored? Oh, Adam's saying goals scored. Okay. So then it'll be Millwall. Interesting. But yeah, I suppose we'll have to look into this more detail on the final stream to see who actually got promoted, etc. And will be useful for season 2. Right, let me just do... Is there any ref watch, just in case? Let's go to the fixtures for the teams. So Aston Villa, David Ellery. Bolton game, Mike Riley. Ipswich, oh, it's a couple of days, so it hasn't decided, is it? Oh, it has. D. Lee. Leeds, Paul Alcock. Middlesbrough, D. Lee again. Magic, that Lee. Oh, D. Lee for Sunderland as well. Triple Lee. And Barry Knight. I don't think it's done. It doesn't usually do the ones that are a couple of days away. Yeah, it hasn't done those yet. Season 2, yeah, it's not confirmed. It's not confirmed at all, but I think the guys are hopeful to get something out in some way, shape or form at some point. But it'd be pretty cool if we can, over the break, for example, stream the World Cup a little bit, go through some of the transfers, tease some of those. In fact, I'm going to look at transfers now, actually, because I think there's been a few in Europe that are interesting. And build up some hype. What do you think, guys? What do you guys think? And if we do it, we do it, and if we don't, we don't. April Player of the Month as well. Okay, we'll look at that. So all transfers. If we go international, Kleberson. He's going to be some player, him. Oh, you daisy. Cheat centre back. Gone to Austria, Vienna. He's incredible. Not many, but there are some planned transfers. In fact, I'm going to get up Panda, who does most of the data work in the background, sent me a tweet actually with a message with who in Europe has actually moved. So I'm going to have a look on what he's put here. Some future transfers, I mean, not actually moved. So we covered some of them on the last stream. Di Matteo going to Parma, for example. Sean Goater's going to Bolton. But internationally, Overmars. Let's go find Overmars. Barcelona. He's not particularly good in this game, in my experience. But anyway, he's going to Roma. So he's off. Oh, and on that note, Cafu, possibly the best right back in the game. He's old, but he's great. He's going to Real Madrid. So they'll be heavily improved. I think they've got Salgado at the moment at that place. Who else? Udeze is a machine. Yeah, he is. He's fantastic. Juve and Real. Okay, let's go to Juve. Their season finished already? Oh, the division's not loaded, is it? So if we go to another big name, Edgar Davids. Anyone got any ideas where he might have gone? Any CM faithful know where Edgar Davids ends up? Look at those stats. I think him and Vieira have got the most 20s in the game most of the time, along with Radulov, Kaluzhny and Cannavaro, Nesta actually, sorry. Barnsley. Barca. Spurs. No, that was real life, Billy. It didn't really work, did it? Was he alright at Spurs? He wasn't that good at Spurs, was he? I don't remember him being that good anyway. Just remember the stupid goggles. Madrid. I'm going to give you that, even though you didn't specify which Madrid. But it is Real Madrid. He is going to Real Madrid, Edgar Davids. So they're improving after their Champions League win. Maybe. But Real Madrid are funding that. And Figo's going. And this is a very common transfer in CM that Figo leaves. As does Zidane quite often. Any guesses on the old Figo? Decent at Spurs, was he? Okay, fair enough. Any guesses where Figo's going? AC Milan? No. Barca? No. It's a top team. Man United? No. No. No one's even got the right league yet. Not Italy. Not Spain. Grimsby. Porto? No. I don't think they've got that amount of money. Bayern. Ronerid said it. He's gone to Bayern. Again, Figo's a bit random in this game. Sometimes he can be good, sometimes he can't. He's not that good, and the AI is never particularly good with him. But he is going to Bayern. Who else have we got? Oh, I think this one's auto in the game. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's an automatic sub in the game, but it might not be. There's a German. Bayern are signing someone from Leverkusen. Does that give away who it will be? I think it might even be an auto transfer in the game, but I can't be sure. It's not Lucio, that's not an auto transfer in the game. It's not Berbatov, it is Ballack. So they're getting Agahauer, Ballack. Is going there. And Deisler, who can be very good. So they're heavily improving their team, aren't they? What they're going to do with Deisler, Ballack, Agahauer and Figo. So they're already half decent options. I mean, they've got some ageing attacking midfielders, to be fair, but a decent squad. And another one, he's probably not that well known actually, but he is if you play CM, from Cruzeiro, who's going to Leverkusen. Any guesses there from the CM faithful? Ulf Kirsten can actually bang. I was going to say, look, he has banged. He can bang goals. Being really old, he still can smash it. Oliver Newell's a bit of a cheat as well at the beginning of the game. Lucio, he's a really good centre back. The thing with Lucio, although he looks really good, is this: the most important stat for a defender is positioning, and he has 11 for it. So as a result, I never buy him because he's not all that good sometimes. Robin's PSV, yeah, that's already nailed on. No, it's not Alex, not Romero, not Delgado. Edmundo, who, as you can see, is pretty handy. He's not a bad player at all. Love that high dribbling stat, set pieces, technique, aggression, absolute head case. Ruined Gary Neville. Certainly did. Yuri Djurkaeff, they're getting in. There's lots of transfers in Europe. England need to pull their finger out. But yeah, I think that's it. These noted down anyway without searching endlessly through teams. Riquelme moved anywhere? Probably not. Nope, not yet. Luzao, Great striker. He's going to River. Costanzo, the cheat keeper. We've got Cambiasso on loan from Real Madrid. He can end up being decent. And obviously you guys will know this man. Guilherme, yeah, he's great. He'll end up going somewhere eventually. As will this man. Right, is there anything else anyone wants to see or know before I switch off? Does Messi move in this game? He's not even born yet, is he? And that's as close as you get. Raul Estevez is a beast as well. I could just talk CM all day. I think that's it, isn't it, guys? Should we wrap it up? Redmundo from Cole. Here he is. Messi moves from play school to junior infants. He'd still be better than Monk at this age. A fetus, I think. Right, cheers, guys. Was a pleasure. Player and manager of the month. Oh, go on then. Go on then. There's the team of the week. Manager of the month is Graham Ricks. He who shall not be named was just named. Eric Bakker. That's unsurprising. It's been fantastic. Lescott, Jump Jet for young player. And they've already picked the team of the year, haven't they? They're a bit hasty on that one. Henri representing up front. Definitely player of the year, Henri. Good pick. Right, cheers guys. Should see you, well, it's thick and fast now, isn't it? So we got the games all tomorrow for the double game week. I think did Andy say they were both on that day? Either way, we're almost at the end now. And what happens in this double game week is going to go a long way to cementing, you know, how we do, because the final game, I mean, obviously anything can happen at any point, but throwing in doubles, there's all sorts of scores. We saw this week massive scores about the place. So good luck, everyone. Be brave with your transfers. I'll see you on the next one.